Greetings, everyone. I am Ozzy Arcane, and welcome to Arcane Gaming. Today, I am here with two of my friends to talk about a topic. With me, I have Mad Matt
Hello.
and Ojunix.
Evening.
And it's fitting you're here, Ojunix, because you were with me when I saw the trailer for this game originally during the actual
Yep.
Game Awards. The massively overhyped debut trailer that led to a lot of nothing, the final reveal of the Game Awards. And we are going to talk about a bit more related to this topic than HighGuard itself, because honestly, we're talking about it kind of late. But, like, both, I think, because Matt, you've seen it now. Do you agree with me that, like, at least in the beginning parts of the trailer, you weren't sure that this was a PvP game?
Initially, maybe, but I did notice, like, a couple characters in. All of a sudden, I started going, wasn't that a character we just saw a little bit ago? Oh, this is a PvP game. Dang it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where when we were first watching this, especially because I didn't actually expect to see mounts in a PvP game. I was actually kind of like, oh, a co-op game where you can ride on a bear. That's kind of cool. I think, didn't I say that, Ojunix, when we were watching it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and it's like, but then it keeps going. I'm like, what is this? Is this a looter shooter? Is this something like Borderlands? Because with how much stupid crap we've seen and how much Jeff hyped this, I didn't assume it was just going to be another hero shooter again.
Yeah.
But it was. And granted, the character designs do look better than Concord, but that's not saying a whole lot because they just by
Like
comparison,
saying the turd I'm having today is better than the turd I had yesterday. It's still a turd.
just comparatively speaking, they look normal.
It looks average-ish.
Characters look fine. The environments look fine. The battles, the animations, the abilities, the powers, the weapons, all of it looks fine.
But that's the problem. It's just fine.
Fine.
It's nothing that grabs you by the popos and goes, this is going to be important and cool. Just, it's fine, I guess.
All I can say is if this had been more towards a Borderlands esque style game, I'd probably actually be a little more excited because I'm like, hey, somebody finally was going to this genre, the looter shooter. At least maybe try something a little different.
Then he's trying something a little bit different, and we don't have to give money to the Gearbox.
Yeah, and they could have ironically capitalized on the fact that a lot of people aren't happy with Borderlands 4 because of the performance issues.
But
among other things.
Well, besides Reddy can't stop putting his foot in his damn mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's just the fact that it's just wait, Jeff, why are you hyping another shooter in a market that's so crowded?
and I think the studio itself don't even consider it a hero shooter, but that's
probably
it is. It has mounts and siege elements, but it's still a hero shooter, even if it has some aspects of MOBAs in it. Although ironically, something that clicked with me after thinking about this more is there actually is a hero shooter we've played that had mounts in it.
Yep.
They took that from Paladins.
Mm-hmm.
Which is ironic considering the virtuous title the main character gives himself in the freaking trailer. I can't. Did he say he was a paladin or was it something else? I can't remember.
Guardian of something.
I would say was it like a warden or a garden?
Something like that. But in any case, it's like, congratulations, you took an idea from paladins. And I admittedly feel bad for the developers because this game's been being worked on for 4 years, which was way before Concord came out and fell on its face, and a bunch of other hero shooters came out and fell on their face. Like I've seen
Before a whole bunch of things kept scrambling over each other to try and grab that piece of the pie.
Fragpunk came out, and that, from what I've seen, doesn't have like much of anything resembling a player base left. The problem is Overwatch has lost its magic. There still are a lot of people that play it, but it's nowhere near the top of the food chain like it was before. And
Yeah.
but now there's also Marvel Rivals. And admittedly, these guys probably didn't know Marvel Rivals was going to exist when they started working on this, because
Fair.
that came out recently. But the
Mhm.
thing is, with any type of live service game in a specific genre, there's only so much room for competition, because there's a limited pool of people that are interested in playing that, and they're going to play whatever one's best or whichever one gels with them the best. And the big issue with stuff like this, as opposed to either single player games or co-op games, is any game that's online only, it might last a long time, but they all at some point have an expiration date.
Very true.
Considering Anthem just got shut down,
Well,
Yeah.
that didn't have much of a time to begin with.
Yeah, but it lasted
it
for a
been out
while.
for a it been out for a good
Yeah.
long while, and there was still a fan base playing it.
It was in maintenance mode for a lot longer than most people expected it to, because there's a lot of games that just shut down after a year. So I'm surprised that lasted as long as it did. I mean, that's
Yeah.
but still, the thing is, any online game at some point
It's,
has an expiration date, and it also is
yeah.
part of why I'm super reluctant to really even get into anything like this anymore, because I've had
Yeah.
2 instances of me being into one that
Yeah.
died. There was City of Heroes, and there was Marvel Heroes, that
Mhm.
the ARPG Diablo-esque game. I'm pretty sure you played that with us a few times, Matt. I can't remember for
Oh, yeah.
sure though. Yeah, so I mean,
I've
I,
reached endgame with you guys, yeah.
I've experienced actually getting into one of those kind of games, and it
Yeah.
just dying anyhow. So
Yeah,
there's a
both of
problem
them
with that.
just
But the thing is, the other thing I want to say about this, it's not specifically just about HighGuard itself. Is this has been a massive problem with the industry for so long now, because Matt, you're younger than me, but you're closer to my age than Unix is. You remember the MMO wars of the early 2000s?
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh, what was it all? There was
EverQuest, Ultima Online, um, what
Anarchy
was
Online, Warcraft,
Dark Age of Camelot? I think was
Dark Age. Yeah, I believe you already mentioned Ultima.
like, basically there are so many MMOs vying to get that MMO money that EverQuest had.
And then the freebie ones like Lineage that just kept popping out of the woodwork.
And for the longest time, EverQuest was the top dog. That was like
At first,
undisputable
yeah.
until World of Warcraft came out. Then World of
Mhm.
Warcraft didn't just eat EverQuest's money, or eat EverQuest's lunch. They ate people's lunch that no one even knew was there, because World of Warcraft just blew up to like an insane level compared to everything else. But in spite of that, everybody kept trying to make MMOs. Everybody thought they could be the WoW killer and steal the throne, and it
And
never
yeah, that was the
worked.
thing that I got sick and tired of hearing of at that point, was just, oh, we're the wild
Yeah.
killer, we're the wild killer. You were better off just doing something that was going to be interesting in your own thing. One of the few survivors of this is Lord of the Rings Online. It's still active. They're still going. They're still adding
Wait.
expansions.
Oh yeah, hell, technically, I mean, Knights of the Old Republic is still going, and although at that point it's more seen as a single player game with some co-op
Some co-op
MMO.
options, yeah.
Yeah, so it was probably
Um,
considered completely, but the fact it still is technically going is
Right.
at least kudos.
And the game that finally was the World of Warcraft killer wasn't even trying to be a World of Warcraft killer, I don't think, because the thing that finally overtook them was Final Fantasy XIV, which was the second
Yeah.
Final Fantasy MMO.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
second Final Fantasy MMO. Yeah, we forgot about freaking 12.
And that's after
No, 11.
And that's after they screwed up so bad they literally killed the game and then resurrected it, and then it suddenly blew up to be amazing.
Yeah,
And they actually kept that death and resurrection as part of the main plot.
Yeah, it worked too.
but
In its favor.
So we've already seen the thing that's happening with hero shooters right now, and I think it's going to stop. It's going to stop. It's just that the ones that are already in development, they can't just stop.
Got to get weeded out and
get
released and done with.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we saw it happen with MMOs. We saw it happen with MOBAs. We saw it happen with Call of Duty literally
Yeah,
ruining the
yeah,
first-person shooter genre because
yeah. I was
everybody
gonna
wanted to
say,
be Call
Well,
of Duty.
technically, I was going to say even before then, we had a bunch of Doom knockoffs.
Yeah, but that was at the time. That was what they called anything that was a first-person shooter.
Yeah, that
Some of
was
them,
that.
some of them were definitely trying to be Doom and failed.
Right.
I
But
see
that's
at
more
least
that
the things that.
to me that's more forgiving when it's a single-player game.
Yeah, yeah, but the thing is, what Call of Duty was, not only did everybody want Call of Duty's money, they wanted to be Call of Duty. So instead of just making a military shooter, they would take established franchises that were already there and change them because they wanted to be more like Call of Duty, thinking that somehow the Call of Duty fans were going to come and play this, and it never ever freaking worked.
Yeah,
And so, and in
that-
turn, it ruined a lot. A lot of franchises died because of
yeah,
that.
it killed SOCOM because the
It
SOCOM
killed,
players didn't
yeah,
want a Call of Duty game; they wanted SOCOM, and
so calm.
Yeah.
But aside from that, there's there was hero shooters and then battle royales, and to similar extent, this is also what like live service companies in general are doing. And like, we're gonna be the next Fortnite, even if we make a different genre game than them. We're gonna somehow do it. We're gonna get all that money, and it's like, no, that's not how that works.
And I can definitely say nobody's going to overtake Fortnite. Fortnite is too
Not anytime
big at this
soon.
point.
It seems like a lot of these companies are like super obsessed with trying to make the amount of microtransaction money that mobile games make in their gacha games, and it's just not going to happen.
No.
No. As it is, if they're already attached to that mobile game, they're already attached to that mobile game, and they're already going to
Yeah.
overspend because they're already there. They're not going to spend
Yeah.
that money somewhere else just because you have the options to do so too.
And the other
But
thing
not
is
that, yeah, exactly.
the other thing is if you're playing a free-to-play mobile game on your phone, you already have to have a phone no matter what in modern life, generally speaking. I know there are like a few weirdos who still don't have a smartphone or any kind of mobile phone at all, but most people have to have a cell phone. So it's already a device you have. With a video game console or a gaming PC, it's a device you invested into to play video games. When you're just playing, when
Why
you're
do I need
just
to spend more on the video
right,
games
right,
when I already spent this much
yeah,
to get here?
when you're playing on a mobile phone that you already have, if that's your main thing, you have more money to waste on something like that than someone that had to buy a gaming dedicated device, potentially buy the game. I will say the one thing HighGuard is smart about is that the game is going to be free to
Be
play,
free.
unlike Concord and all these other live service games PlayStation is putting out to fall on their face and die. But expecting you to buy a game and then spend tons of money on microtransactions, generally speaking, that doesn't work unless it's a stupid sports game. Because for
Somehow
some
they still keep getting away with that. Yeah.
because for
Yeah,
some reason, basketball fans and football fans and some wrestling fans will buy the yearly game and then spend
my Fantasy Star League.
yeah, and then they spend money in the gotcha mode in the game that they had to pay full price to get.
yeah.
And that
Let's
to me is insane, but
that's a
uh,
whole that's a whole video in itself.
I
But
used to
yeah,
get this amount of game 10 years ago. I'm still paying money for it.
I say this, one of the smart things that 343 before it became Halo Studios, the smart thing they did was with Halo Infinite, because they were still working on the single player campaign, they made the multiplayer part at least free. You could just pick that up and you could play the multiplayer, and did have to pay a single cent because of course they did the whole battle pass stuff, but at least it was free to play. The only thing you had to pay for was the campaign, which probably probably the better of the hindsight.
yeah, that makes sense. Because the other thing is, if you don't care about the campaign, then you don't have to pay for it because you're not going to play it anyhow.
Yeah, exactly. So I think out of the two, they made the better call.
I'm surprised Call of Duty hasn't done that. Honestly,
because they want them. They want all the money. That's why.
but they're owned by the same company now. They're both owned by Microsoft.
Stop reminding me of that.
Yeah, because we no longer can blame Bobby Kotick. He's gone.
I know.
I can't wait for the Elder Scrolls Battle Pass.
But yeah, I think that the thing we've covered what we wanted to cover though is just the fact that it's crazy to just see the same thing happen over and over again. It's like the past repeating itself because people don't learn the lesson of, hey, guess what? This thing succeeded. You can't succeed by just copying their homework and
Yeah.
putting out something similar. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It might work with a single player game if people actively just want more of that, but with an online specific focused game, it won't work.
That's the problem with yeah.
In any case, thank you all for listening. Until next time, good game, happy gaming.
Yo.
Yeah.